At times I wasn't sure if we could do it, if we could make it, but at certain kind of key points, like I say, that first listen, when we listen to the prototype, that gives you the confidence that there's something special here.
Quel est le lien entre Varèse, la carte Apex, et le l'INA?
Yeah, so this is a Apex, ring DAC Apex. This is a stereo DAC, so left channel and right channel. But the Apex project was part of the Varèse development. That was Chris Hales and the hardware team looking at how they could improve the output stage of the ring DAC. They made a number of improvements. Now, I think the Apex improvements were big improvements on the previous ring DAC. At that point, we could have said, okay, let's make this a new product. We chose not to. We chose to offer it as an upgrade to existing owners, because that's something we believe in as a company as well, that we want to take dCS owners on a journey with their product. Because for us, when we develop a product or a platform, it's just the beginning. So Apex made its way out of the Varèse DAC development project. But where the Varèse DACs are different is that they are differential mono. So in the Varèse DAC, we have 96 current sources for the left channel and 96 for the right. And what we do is we run 48 in phase, 48 anti-phase. We take the output of the anti-phase and we sum it and then we invert it like a balanced mode. But what that gives you is we improve second harmonics. We can have a dedicated power and clock supply to each channel. We have infinite crosstalk. We have lower noise. So for the ring DAC, where we always kind of traded a little bit of noise for lower distortion, now we have lower noise, lower distortion, better clocking, improved power supply design. So huge number of improvements, and when you add them all up, you get what you heard today. But one of the challenges was to synchronize the DACs. So again, that took years of study, because we looked at different protocols for audio over IP, like Dante and Ravenna and AES67, but they didn't allow us to use the oscillators in the DAC. So the team, again, ingenious to come up with their own clocking system, Tomix, which we have a patent for now. But that was a way of using the clock signal to embed a counter and lock the two DACs in perfect sync. So another engineering challenge we had to solve if we really wanted to get the most out of the mono DACs. So another kind of commonality was the mechanical design of Varèse that really we were able to pilot in Lina. So we wanted to machine from a single billet, use one screw type, one torque setting, use the chassis as a heat sink. So all of that thinking and what we were working on for Varèse, we brought to the market with Lina.
Est-ce qu'une technologie comme Actus peut être déclinée? Elle semble étroitement liée à la nouvelle architecture mono.
The Actus interface, again, this was designed to overcome the limitations of AES EBU. So in a Vivaldi system, we use dual AES EBU to carry data, but it's limited to, I think, 4 megabits a second. Now, if we design a system here we want to support for the next 15, 20 years, we needed something that was capable of carrying data at high speed. But then when you add in Tomix and how we wanted to move the clock signal around, we designed an interface that would allow us to carry audio, clock and control information all on one cable. So this, again, was a number of years in development. It's 6 twisted pairs. It's an IP link between each unit, so from the core to each of the other units. But this lets us carry high-speed data, a clock signal and control information. So it makes the system so much simpler, because you can connect one cable, the system will configure itself, and you cannot misconfigure or make mistakes. So This technology is something at the moment that can't be brought into existing dCS products, but in terms of software and signal path, there are a number of things we can bring. There's improvements we've made to the network streaming, to the app, to how you control the system. So now it's about taking what's been received well here and what people are excited about and looking at how we can apply that to existing products. The challenge for us now is to take some of the Varèse technology and bring it into the existing lines and look at Vivaldi and how a Vivaldi owner can maybe migrate into a Varèse. So yeah, there's a lot happening.
J'avoue que la première fois que je me suis retrouvé à devoir brancher 4 Vivaldi, j'ai un petit peu pris peur.
For a number of years, we've been supporting our current products, and people can accidentally misconfigure clock settings, change inputs. Things can happen. That's common to a lot of products. But the beauty of Actus and the single interface is that it automatically clocks, it automatically syncs to the right input. So everything is, super simple to set up, and reliability and consistency was a key design goal, which I think we've been able to achieve.
La première fois que vous développez des DAC mono, est-ce que c'était la seule solution pour aller beaucoup plus loin que Vivaldi, ou c'est aussi lié aux technologies que vous avez développées pour la gamme Varèse?
The mono DACs were always an idea, something that Chris and the hardware team wanted to work on, but there were challenges. So one of the challenges was if you have two DACs and both of those channels are receiving high-speed data or a high bit rate, then you need an interface that supports that. And the second challenge was how you keep each channel in perfect sync. So it's something we'd explored, we'd prototyped over the years, but like anything in dCS, if we're going to do it, it needs to measure at a certain level, and then it needs to grab you and it needs to sound right. So when we decided to go ahead with the mono DACs, it was, we wanted to get it right. Yeah, it's an idea we'd always had, but we had to solve a number of kind of ancillary challenges before we could realize it in the most optimal way when it came to measured performance.
Bon, nous, on se régale les oreilles depuis 2 jours, nos clients aussi. Mais pour vous, le système Varèse, est-ce qu'il a encore un petit défaut, quelque chose que vous pourriez améliorer?
Nah, there is always room for improvement. That's the amazing thing about working with the team that I do at dCS. When we launch a product, it's just the beginning. You've heard Vivaldi. You take Vivaldi from day one to now, different machine, different system. So with Varèse, there's a number of areas we know we can take this system.
Merci beaucoup pour toutes vos réponses, du temps consacré à cette interview, à votre visite et à toutes les explications que vous avez données à nos clients. Merci aussi d'avoir arrêté les radars et de vous être lancé dans l'aventure des produits HIFI haut de gamme et des sources numériques comme celle-ci, parce que vous régalez nos clients, vous nous régalez avec vos produits. Donc merci beaucoup.
Merci. Thank you.